Today, that number is down to 3. Most of that forest is found in the west. This is where you find the last uncharted wilderness in Ethiopia and the only remaining rainforest. There are no extensive studies made on the plants and animals you find here. It is still a land of unknown discoveries. It is home to the Majang. They had almost no contact with the outside people until the end of the 20th century. This is the first time they have ever been portrayed in a documentary. No one knows just how long they have been isolated in the forest. They lived spread out in small settlements, not bothering their neighbors. The reason for their isolation is that neighboring people did not have the knowledge to survive here. The only livestock that could last in the forest was chicken, and hunting is hard in a thick undergrowth. It is like a natural maze only Majangs know how to navigate, which made it a perfect place for hiding. The only way to survive was the shifting cultivation the Majangs practice. The Majangs are known as the honey people. Beekeeping is, after shifting cultivation, considered to be the most important activity to them. Logs are hollowed out to create beehives, which are then tied together high up in the trees. The area around the hive is claimed by the owner and called Jang Nat, my wilderness. The actual bee colony, on the other hand, can never be owned. Majangs only claim ownership over things found or which have required labor to produce. Boys start beekeeping at an early age. By the time they grow up, the number of hives can be over 100. This is not the season for harvesting, but the men are willing to show how it's done. Normally they climb the trees after sunset when, as the Majangs say, the bees do not sting so badly. Climbing 20 to 30 meters in the dark with angry bees swarming around is risky. Many get injured, and some falls are fatal. But the Majangs show no fear. Sticks are tied together and set on fire to produce smoke to calm the bees. A calabash for the honey and a new leaf plug is brought to replace the old one. The old leaf plug is removed slightly, and smoke is blown into the hive to stun the bees. Many bee stings are expected and considered comical by onlooking Majangs, especially if they are in funny places, like the tongue or armpit. The leaf plug is removed, and the honey can be harvested. Some men harvest over 600 kilograms of honey a year, but the average is about a third of that. About half the honey is sold. The rest is consumed either as food or as honey wine. Honey wine is prepared by the men. The best time to enjoy it, according to the Majangs, is at dawn, when uninvited guests are few. It is only shared with close friends and relatives in the settlement. Each settlement consists of at least one male and one female, usually a couple, but it can also be friends or relatives. There is a female hut, a male hut, and a cooking hut. There are also smaller huts for children, since they move from their mothers at the age of 7. Now they are almost adult and are expected to help with work and taking care of the babies. Marriage does not exist here as it does in most cultures. Their view of marriage is simple. The man prepares fields for the woman, and the woman prepares hot meals for the man. If either one stops, there is no reason for them to stay together. The woman is only expected to cook one hot meal a day, so if a man wants more, he is free to prepare fields for another woman. Their word for family is tajanamong, which means same wine. Family consists of the people you share wine with. The existence that Majangs have enjoyed for centuries was threatened by a plant that grows wild in the forest. Coffee. Well, not the actual coffee, but the people interested in growing coffee on their land. Luckily for the Majangs and the forest, the altitude is too low to produce high-quality coffee beans here. The Majangs use a different part of the plant for a traditional drink. They roast the leaves to make a drink called kari. They say that it cleans your mouth of bad taste and is good in the mornings. This drink is only shared by neighbors. The word neighborhood in Majang is kari among, translating into same coffee. The neighbors share everything they have in order to survive. They are more important than relatives living far away and almost considered family. The forest is filled with everything the Majangs need. They say the only thing required to survive is a machete. The skills needed and knowledge about their environment is already passed down to each Majang. This is a tangi tree. It is not found outside the forest and is one of the many plants with a specific purpose. It is the blanket tree. Wooden sticks shaped with the essential machete are used to peel the bark off like a sock. Today, a baby blanket is going to be made. When the blanket is peeled to the required length, they remove the outer bark, and the acidic sap needs to be rinsed out before the blanket can be dried and used. On most occasions, the Majangs seem to really enjoy life, and today is no different. Even while working, they sing and laugh on their way down to the river. When the work is done, it is time to relax. Even the monkeys get some free entertainment before it's their time to say goodnight, the monkey way. Another day is coming to an end, and the sun spreads some last light on the majestic landscapes. These simple stories of people living their normal lives are just a fragment in a continent bursting with a multitude. They might not have the easiest, happiest, or longest lives, but it is hard not to be touched by the faith and life force that runs through them. It is easy to see all the misery that makes it to the headlines, but hopefully we can remember the beautiful lives that do exist beyond them and even in them.